Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where 92 is half of 99, but 85 is half of 92. I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. Michael had to rehearse that opening and laughed through it for some reason. It definitely wasn't my fault. I definitely wasn't teasing him through the headset when he first tried. He had to walk away off camera because I just kept being an asshole because he kept his headphones on.
It's true. It's very true.
Hope you guys liked it. We had to do the math for that opening too. Like calculated it all out because you know how good we are at math. But no, if you're new around here, welcome. We are terrible at math. That's not a lie, but this isn't a math podcast. This is an Old School Runescape podcast, which I hope is why you found us. And hello, welcome. We do Old School Runescape things. We talk about the game, we play the game, we sometimes complain about the game, but we mostly just talk about the game. If you're not new around here, Imby sent us candy, and that was a mistake, because I've done nothing but pound macadamia nuts and lychee gummies for like a week straight. So, you know, the summer beach bod is looking real fine these days. At this point, my blood is like lychee and pineapple. So
I don't know. I think I hid them from myself. I think I can't remember where I put them.
There was, we opened these up. So Imby sent us some candies from Hawaii, because I think she was either working out there or stationed out there. I'm not sure which, because she does like super classified cool shit. And she sent us like candy from Hawaii that Michael then sent half to me. We ate them during the most recent extra episode recording that should be out 2 days before this episode comes out. And he was like, I have to hide these things because I'm going to eat them all. I did not do that. I just like sat there and kept on crunching on gummies. And the extra episodes are like pretty unedited. So there's going to be a lot of bag crinkling.
Yep.
A lot of bag
and
crinkling.
Mouth noises. So
and mouth noises. Nothing we love more than bag crinkling and mouth noises. We add some keyboard clicks and mouse clicks in there. You've got like prime Xpwaste.
That's like, people pay for that via ASMR stuff. So, hey, you know
that's
what?
The thing. We're not ASMR streamers. Like we don't have like ASMR equipment. We could just like get really close to the microphone and make mouth noises. Like that's not the same thing as ASMR.
If I had nails, I'd cut them short.
Ugh. Tapping on nails. Not cutting nails. Cutting nails is totally fine. But like, just picture like a monster like clacking its nails against the glass or something like that, or like the raptors from Jurassic Park like tapping their claws against the floor.
Listen, if I was a raptor and I needed a job, I definitely would become an ASMR streamer. Like, you're built for it.
I mean,
depending, man.
Depending, especially the Jurassic Park raptors have really good sound design, so you could probably make a lot of really cool noises.
Yes, I found them. So you can see that almost all of the small pink ones are gone. And I've been saving the pineapples because they're my favorite.
I didn't save shit. I pounded. We did, I think, we ran some hard mode Theater of Blood. Gone. Absolutely gone. I was like,
Yoink.
Oh no, I died at hard mode Nilo. Time to stuff my face with pineapple rings. Like, you know.
Oh, man. So what did you do this week? You said you mentioned hard mode.
What did I do this week? I've actually had a pretty big week. So on the groupie, we're just making gains. We got full graceful. We got 60 agility, 900 laps at Canifis. Glad to not do that anymore. Currently doing fruit stalls for 55-ish thieving for Arty Knights and Desert Treasure. So like, you know, making some moves in silence, like the lasagna or whatever the phrase is, on the groupie. But on the main, it's actually been a pretty big week. We have trained a little bit of fletching. We're almost done with the Hydra task. The same one I've had for like 3 weeks. We're almost to 1,000 Zulrah, and we're almost to 1,000 Theater of Blood. Which, while neither of those KCs are particularly interesting in like some of all the players in RuneScape, I am very happy with almost having them. I'm excited to get them done, because considering where I started for Zulrah and Theater of Blood, I don't know. It's real cool to have those done. I might finally have more kills than I do wipes at Theater of Blood very soon.
So we're going to fact check you right now, because you said 1,000 Theater of Blood.
Did I say 1,000? I meant to say 100.
Yeah, you definitely said 1,000.
Did I say 1,000?
You did.
Oh shit, dude.
You
Yeah,
said
no.
1,000 Soul
I
and
have-
1,000 Theater of Blood. I'm like, wait.
Oh no,
what?
I had 1,000 Zalra on the mine. No. I have 920 something Zalra at the time of recording, and 96 Theater of Blood at the time of recording as well. I'll probably have
So close,
100
yeah.
theater by the time this episode comes out, and I'll
Hell yeah.
probably be closer to 1,000. But considering where I started, very happy to almost have those done because holy shit, those bosses were hard. But the biggest thing that happened to me this week, I finally finished the Elite Combat achievements.
Yay!
Finally, after like months, damn near almost a year of combat achievements being out, I finally have the Elite Combat Diaries completed. I have my Jad Slayer helm. I have my 3 teleports a day to Moral Wreck. Big shout out to everyone who helped me by either like lending me gear or helping me do some of like the shittier combat tasks. If you're doing the Elite Diaries, Orag Freezer 2, that one's pretty tough. The Solo Nightmare, that's just a test of stamina and also stupid. But I did get it. 30 seconds off the master time, which I was a little pissed about, but I did get it. Yeah, so thank you again to everyone who like loaned me gear. Jake loaned me like 800 mil worth of gear because he was just like not going to play that weekend. So I had like full Inquisitor, full Ancestral. I did the Seren speed run time. Like it was fun. You know, thank you for everyone who's carried me through like CMs and shit like that. So that's fun. And the KC
Big
reduction,
hype,
the KC reduction only affected 3 bosses for me. Because
Really?
I remember a couple of weeks ago, I was concerned that like it would just be handed to me, but I did so much PVM between the announcement and the reduction. The only ones that were changed were Callisto, Zilliana, and Theater of Blood. And when it was reduced, I already had 60 Theater of Blood, so I was on track to get 75 anyway.
Oh, there you go.
So
nice.
You know, I'm very happy about that. And for all of you curious, I hit my PB. I matched my PB the other day and hit wave 59 in the Inferno. So we're
so close. Dude.
We're cheering.
Did you watch Chaos's video?
The Inferno video?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I just like jumped in public chat one day because like I was talking about it last night with M and Ray that like you just have to be in the right mindset to do the Inferno when you don't have a cape, you know, because there were some days that I just went in every single day after work and it was exhausting and demotivating to like plank in the 30s for 6 days in a row. But you know, now I've just sort of been like spreading out my goals a lot. Like I'm so close to the achievement diary cape on the main that like I'm kind of pushing for that. I'm looking into some of these master CAs. Like I'm kind of expanding myself a little bit of like what to do next. That I just woke up the other day and was like, no, I'm gonna do an Inferno, and I think that's how I'm gonna take it from here on out. Like until I start consistently getting to like triples and Zuck, I think the days of me sending daily runs are on hold for now because it's just like tiring and not super fun to do all the time. So you know, I'm just gonna take it easy on myself for the summer. I would like to have it. Ideally, I'll have it before TOA comes out. But, I mean, I've learned the hard way, and all the old-time XP wasters will know this as well, that sometimes when you set a time-limited goal on a difficult task like an Infernal Cape, you don't hit it. So it's just easier on your mental health to not set a goal for something that is skill and RNG dependent. So
yeah, because I remember back in September or whatever, your goal for the end of the year was hard CAs and Infernal Cape, and we're in May, just got the CAs.
Yeah, the Elite combat achievements. I really wanted to get the Elites and the Infernal Cape by the end of the year. I wanted to have them done before Leagues. I think that was the issue. Like I wanted to have them done because I knew Leagues was just going to get in the way. Leagues did get in the way in such a way that like if I'm not having fun, I don't know if I'll do a Rune Cup next year in Leagues, just because like this league was just not as enjoyable as Trailblazer, which we've already gone over. So I don't know. I've been pulling up my goal sheet a lot more recently because what's it called? Like it's almost June 1st. Like it's May 30th right now. So like we're halfway through the year and my 2022 goals, I'm like, shit, dude, I don't have most of this stuff done. So I've been kind of
or even anything close to it.
The only thing I'm close to right now is the achievement diary cape, and then like some KC goals I have. But like, you know, I banked 99 cooking for 900k. Like that's that's about it. You know, my scythe rebuild has kind of put a halt on some of the dream gear I want to buy, but like it hasn't been demotivating, which is nice.
That's good.
You know,
I'm scared to look at my notepad.
Yeah. Dude, check it out. Like, see, like where are you at with your goals? How, well, like, you know, we'll transition that with like what have you been up to?
Sure.
This week.
So like, I put a year of membership on the group Ironman. I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but I've been like almost exclusively playing on the group Ironman because I have it logged in on my iPad. So it's kind of if you're a mobile player and you have multiple accounts, you kind of know it's a annoying task to like keep logging in multiple to different accounts if you're on mobile. So the account that I have logged in is usually just the one that I play. So my groupie is on mobile, and I got my Dragon Defender. I'm working on full Graceful right now. I mean, again, I haven't really logged in my main once I got 99 fishing, and I'm okay with that. That was the plan. I was like, once I get 99 fishing, I think I'm gonna take a break and just play on the group Ironman. We've got almost all 5 members now playing pretty regularly. We got Skate back in Old School. TNL Monkey, she's coming back. So, you know, thank you TMD for
TMD's on sabbatical.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I don't know when this will end as far as like once I've hit the goals that I have for my group Ironman, because one of the main things that we want to do is try and send a raid. And so I've been trying to knock out some of those quintessential items and or stats for a raid. So I got my Dragon Defender. I'd like to get a torso. I would like to get a higher mining level. I've got a pretty good range level, but I think I need to grab a rune crossbow. So there's a lot of things that need to get done, but I'm just enjoying doing it. Like there's no rush for anything.
Yeah.
We had kind of a soft deadline that we would like, ooh, this is a night that we could try it. And then we got to that night and then we're like, I mean, do we have any Addy bolts? No.
We had like base 60 strength for everyone. And then we're like, all right, ammunition. I'm like bone bolts, and then we're like, yeah, it's not gonna work. We only had like 2 rune crossbows. But we did play LMS all night, which was a good time. LMS, I really enjoy PKing. I really want to have a PKer on this show at some point. Like I want to get like a Dino or a Framed or a Torvesta, you know, Gray, somebody on this show who frequents player killing, because that shit is just, it's a different kind of adrenaline. Like, you know, I like to think I'm getting better at tanking Verzik, and there's a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment, a little bit of adrenaline when like you don't send any melees and the whole team survives through P3 and you're tanking. But I mean, something about killing a man. That's an audio bite for you guys. No, but I don't know. I think LMS is it's quite good fun. And I'm not a great PKer, but I'm also not a shit PKer anymore, I think, you know, over just like practicing through LMS and like watching videos.
I mean, I did kill you, so that's saying something.
Michael, we were gonna hide because we were point boosting in LMS, because when you if you get 1 kill and you make it to the last 9 remaining, you get like a bonus point or something like that. And we were trying to save up for like MSB scrolls and rune arrows and things like that. And Michael and I are hiding in the castle in Varrock, and he just like starts attacking me. I'm like, aren't we waiting? He gets like 5 bolt shots in. I'm like, Michael, what are you doing? Stop. And he's like, oh, we're just gonna fight each other. I'm like, okay. So I started fighting him, but because I had already beaten Michael's whole ass the game before that we jumped into, we're like halfway through the fight. He goes, oh my god, Oxie, I'm out of food. I said, me too. I had 9 sharks left.
Like, Oxie.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to make you feel bad, but I was kicking your ass that first time. And because I kicked Michael's ass, I got cocky and didn't eat. And he hit me for like a 35 bolt and killed me. So moral of the story, don't be cocky, eat when in a PvP situation.
If you have food, eat it.
Yeah.
Just don't die. I got my own magic imbue scroll. I feel accomplished. Like I didn't have to have it handed to me. So my magic shortbow imbued. If I ever get a magic shortbow, which I probably will, I'll be able to imbue it with my own scroll that I got from LMS. I feel accomplished.
What a man.
I forgot to mention, I already I forgot to mention I did underground pass as well with 48 agility. So if you're out there and you're looking at your stats, you're like, I can't do underground pass. I've people have told me it's just the worst quest in the world. Like I did it with no staminas, no graceful, and 48 agility. It's doable. I did it in one evening. It was not that bad.
Listen, man, I don't want to say that I've ever said underground pass isn't doable. It's a very doable quest.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks balls.
Yeah, I mean, it's unforgiving in some parts. Like for instance, and use this to your advantage one day if you go. The wiki or like the quest helper only tells you to bring one rope. But if you fail the first rope swing, you don't get that rope back. And so you have to go all the way back to the bank and then walk all the way through and try it again. So on your first attempt, maybe bring 2 or 3 ropes and then bring a lot of food because you're going to need it. So if you can take brews, take brews. They're kind of expensive for a low level account. Or if you're an Iron Man, you're screwed. Just I took Karam ones and powered through it. So that would be my only 2 pieces of advice. I did have super energies. Thank you, TMD. So I would say maybe that's one advantage that some other people might not have if you can't make super energy potions. But it's very doable. And I got Ibans. So now we can go and kill Ulm with Iban's Blast. And I'm excited for that. And that kind of like transitions me into a secondary goal where I have to kill Zora before Oxie gets 99 fire making. So I have Iban's Blast now, and I probably can try it with a rune crossbow. But once I do Regicide, I'm gonna try and send some Zora in secret and see what happens.
Hold on. Why do you have to kill Zora? Because that's not the deal. That's not the deal. You killing Zora isn't the deal.
Yeah, I said I have to kill some Zora. Like I have to kill Zora to get the magic thing, right? Or the Tanzanite.
There's a year out here. You're wording it like you just have to get one Zora kill and then I have to drop everything and get 99 fire making. No, you have to get a blowpipe.
I'm gonna get spooned, hard spooned. First 30 KC.
I mean, maybe, dude. It's possible. I got spooned my first ever Dragon Defender. Finally, I got it in like 4 KC. I've never gotten spooned on a Dragon Defender. I'm talking like 2,000 tokens per Dragon Defender on every account or variation of account I've ever used. My leagues accounts, my main account, like I've never been spooned on a Defender grind. I gathered, I think, 3,000 tokens in preparation and then used maybe 40 when going for my Dragon Defender. Like I got it super quick. I was very happy about that. I think I killed like maybe 300 plus total Cyclopses. That's it.
Yeah. So super easy. I got we were playing Catan online and I was killing Cyclopses on the side and I had 55 tokens left. And I'm like, Oxie, I think I'm gonna have to go get more tokens. As I say that, I'm not kidding. As I say that, I finished the kill that I had just started, and I got the Dragon Defender. He's like, "That's how you get the kill. You just got to complain about it.
Yeah, just bitch
that's how you get the drop."
Get the item. Like, oh man, I can't believe I haven't gotten the thieving pet at 49 thieving. Oh no, like I'm gonna get the thieving pet this episode. So,
yeah, that'd be fun. First
that
pet,
would be
buy
fun.
me a bond.
I mean, yeah, that is the unfortunate trade-off. Is the first person to get a pet in our group Iron Man has to buy the rest of the team a bond each.
That's like at least 25 mil down the drain.
Which like, I'll just pay for it with real money and then refund myself back by doing PDM on the main. But yeah, no, groupie has been fun. I still hate Iron Man mode, but you know, struggling through this game with my friends has been quite a good time. Honest to God, I've quit this Iron Man weeks ago. If it weren't, particularly if it weren't for Papa TMD with the farming and the herb lore. The man loves farming, so he's also become our de facto herb lore guy. I'm thieving and getting him the fruit tops for the garden pies for the herb lore boosts, so he can take it to raids. But farming, low level farming is just so bad. It's so bad. I don't like it at all. So
if you're rich, you can just go and get like bagged plants and do it that way. But we're not rich.
No,
we're not rich.
We're not. But Michael, what are we here to talk about today? Because as much as I love, updating folks on progress of the groupie, because I could talk about us and our account progression and our goals, because we love a good goal around here.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about that all day, but that is not the point of the episode. Although we will probably revisit goals at some point in the future.
Ooh.
So
I'm excited for that.
We'll see.
So back in the early 2000s, I would even say like early to mid 2000s, there was a show called Extreme Makeover. It focused on weight loss, but there was also a spin-off of that show called Extreme Makeover Home Edition. So Ty, the host, hunk of a man, would go into the house and interview the family, and they would be like, so what do you want in a home? Like, what can we change to make your life easier? Most of the time, they would just like completely demolish the house and restart over. So we are going to go into select areas of RuneScape. We're going to interview the locals, and we're going to ask them what they want to change about the area and see if we can just make it better for them. We're going to go and look at cities that may not have a use. Some, like, maybe there's a tree in the way and you just want that tree gone. Well, hey, Extreme Makeover Gillinor Edition, we got you, baby.
Welcome to Extreme Makeover Gillinor Edition. Move that fairy ring. What's a good form of transport? Like, people don't, that's not talked about in RuneScape. Like, how do other people get places? We're wielders of magic, friends of phase. We can use various magical systems from all around the world that other cultures probably don't believe in, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, if you talk to someone in the far east of Mauritania, and you're like you went to talk to a citizen of Berg Durat, and you're like, yeah, I can travel through the magical roots of a spirit tree. They'll be like, bro, you're high on skooma or something. Like, that shit doesn't make any sense. But then
Facts.
Exactly. Like, it's weird how some of these things work. Because if you were to go to the Gnome Stronghold, the people who have a magical transportation system, and be like, yo, check this out. When I go to the desert, I get carpet rides for free because I'm a friend of the locals. They'll be like, what type of innuendo shit is that? What do you mean free carpet rides? Hey, yo, keep it PG. Because they don't go there. They wouldn't understand that part of the culture. So we have access to all these transportation methods that all of these other people and all these other races and cultures don't understand exist. So how do people get anywhere? Is there a bus in Gillinor? That's not the point of this episode.
It's not. I will say, I think that most of the time, people probably just stay in the cities that they are inhabitants of. So, like, if you look at Artie, most of the city is not designed for cart travel. It's all footpaths. So you think, well, you've got everything you need in the city, and it's a brisk 2 to 5 minute walk, maybe from your house down to the market. Are you really going to go elsewhere when you just, you have a fish stall and, a cake stall if you're hungry for some sweets? But I would imagine there's probably like horse and buggy or carts with donkeys and stuff that if you do need to get from Artie to Catherby, it's not going to take you 2 days to walk there. I mean, walking there really only takes like 30 minutes in game, but I imagine it takes real life.
Okay, I thought you meant like, all right, game time, it will take me 4 minutes to walk from Ardoyan to Catherby. But I don't know. I just think, like, how do you import goods? Like, I understand that RuneScape is meant to be a game. Like, I understand RuneScape is meant to be a game you're supposed to, like, walk around in. Like, I get it. It functionally makes sense why it's so small, but, like, there's no ungulates besides cows. There's no horses. There's no donkeys. There's unicorns that aren't domesticated, but, like,
that brings back a deep rooted memory I didn't remember. Like, I didn't think I still had. They, like, Jagex back in the day, I feel like it was April Fool's or something, but, like, there were so many people talking about horses in RuneScape, and, like, can we get mounts in RuneScape?
That was not an April Fool's joke. That was a legitimate idea for Zaya. They wanted to introduce mounts to Old School RuneScape because Zaya is so large that they wanted to introduce mounts to give it that feeling of, like, hey, we're traveling far. This is awesome. And they scrapped that idea. And This actually, oh my god, this is perfect. It wraps around into the point of the episode.
Hey.
Put a picture on screen right now of what Zaya looked like on release. That shit sucked. It is like the worst. Like, I'm going to look it up right now. That's the Great Corrend on release right there. That is what that looked like. So we're going to, our plan is to give Gillinor a makeover similar to how Zaya has slowly gotten makeovers over the years.
Wow.
Look at the Shazian encampment then, and then click on your world map and look at the Shazian encampment now.
Ooh. For all you YouTube viewers, I'm editing this week, so I'm going to do like a nice fade transition to what old Zaya looked like to bam. This is the new
bam.
Zaya. Bam.
Fast.
So check out the YouTube video if you want to see that transition.
Yeah. But so that's our goal for today. Michael and I have some locations in mind. Nothing is like confirmed. Nothing is permanent. This is just Michael and I sort of spitballing ideas of like what we kind of would like to see changed. So
yeah.
Another example we brought up was Falador, right? When Falador was around in 2002, 2003, it was pretty much indistinguishable from any other city. It had that same gray brick that you see in Varrock and Lumbridge, and it's functionally about the same as any other city. And then around the days of like early RS2, I haven't fact checked this myself. This is just what I've remembered from like watching YouTube videos and things. Around the days of like early RS2, when that sort of first released, probably 04, 05, you know, they redid it and they revamped the city and made it white brick. So a new color palette and a new brick texture design took Falador from Lumbridge 3.0 to a whole unique environment. It became a totally new location with, you know, new looking buildings, the castle, it's got a moat in it. That's a really cool feature. But a majority of what's in the city didn't change.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I'm aware, most of what was in Falador probably stayed there. Again, I could be mistaken. I was not playing at 8 years old to know or remember and tell you.
Like, if I recall correctly, I think the houses on the east side were added whenever they did that. Because I'm pretty sure Falador kind of ended with the East Bank and then the party room. Or that's when the party room got moved. Because the party room used to be in Catherby. Or sorry, the party room used to be in Sears Village. And then it moved to Falador. So I'm wondering if East Bank was like the edge. And then they moved the party room to Falador and then added all those houses. But I can't remember the exact date. But it's definitely early days of RuneScape.
Yeah, I think so. So makeovers like that is kind of like what we had in mind. So, Michael, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first. So I kind of went a different route than I think Oxie's going to go, just a tad bit, right?
Okay.
So the biggest eyesore on this whole entire map, the entire map of RuneScape, is West Ardoin. Huge potential. So my idea for a change would kind of encompass like actually having a quest dedicated to the rebuilding and the rejoining of East and West Ardoin. So like after you do Song of the Elves, you've got Prifddinas and all of the drama that was like the Elven quest line has kind of been buttoned up. Spoiler alert. So West Ardoin is kind of just still left in the dumps. You know, you go there after Song of the Elves and it's still this wasteland. So I would love to see some sort of quest line that allows you to merge East and West Ardoin and just call it Ardoin, and then add a lot of functionality with like there's tons of homes that are broken down. So what if you had new shops, or you could add even new types of new types of trade. It could, I mean, you still have to go there to sacrifice your cats, so like some people still have to be walking around, but there's definitely things in this area, like you could add a bank. There's a, like if we're just looking at the map right now, the big things are there's an altar and there's a smithing anvil. But who goes to Ardoin? Who goes to West Ardy for those things?
You go there exactly once to smith a dragon square shield for the Ardorian Hard Diary. go there exactly one time.
So that has to stay, which I think would be great if you could incorporate some sort of close anvil to a bank. Not closer than like Prif or Varrock, but something. But I didn't have a ton of like ideas past just the whole initial let's rebuild West Arty. I don't know if you've got it pulled up on the map, but like, is there anything that stands out to you that could like how are we going to use all those houses on the west side? I was thinking like the inhabitants could like offer services or become shop owners themselves.
I mean,
but
Shadow brought it up, and Shadow and I are on the same wavelength here. It's a Mahogany Homes expansion.
Yeah,
it's easily a Mahogany Home. Maybe those are the prereqs: Song of the Elves, 50 construction, and Daddy's Home. And like you have to go and use maybe like an extortionate amount of planks, like a master level mini quest or something to like repair West Arty. Because like I just did in aid of the Marique the other day on the groupie, where you have to get all the planks and like rebuild the town and give them food and like stock their shops and things like that. I quite enjoy that part of the quest. I think of the Mauritania quest line, in Aid of the Marique is one of my favorite. I really like that quest. The fighting is simple. It's a nice little tutorial to what temple trekking is, even though Ivan is the single most useless NPC in combat in the world. It's a fun quest to do, and I really like the rebuilding part. It's just neat. I don't know. So I think like West Arty has potential to be rebuilt. The one thing I would be cautious of is making it OP, right? So we can't really change, canonically speaking, right? West Ardoyan has been riddled by a plague. And the majority of players, particularly low-level players, our accounts would not be able to redo it on our group Ironman, but our mains would. So how would you almost like make West Ardoyan instanced for people who have done it?
You would. Yeah. You would have to make it like a Prif-style instance.
Yeah, like how do you use a bank in West Ardoyan that doesn't exist for other people? Like you can kind of do it on Fossil Island where you like build the bank chest, and you could do it in Sophenham where you like use the bank after like before or after you do, I think it's Contact, that quest. So like it exists within Old School RuneScape, but how would we make it work to make it look, because a big like aesthetic thing for me with West Ardoyan, it looks like a rundown slum of a city.
Yeah.
So how do you aesthetically change it from a rundown slum to like East Ardoyan that looks like a healthy, normal city, and then make that work for two different accounts?
So I would think that you would maybe have to make the rundown Arty version the instance for like, because is there any group content that requires like having two people in West Arty? I don't think so. So then Arty kind of just looks how it does, all nice and new. But until you've done this new quest, you are always spawned into the rundown instance of West Arty. And then when you finish the quest, then Arty become like the instance is dropped, and then you can see everybody else running around. Because I don't think you need to have more than one person in West Arty at a time, to where like you could have your private instance of that area.
Yeah, I think for sure you could like, add some areas maybe where like you incorporate the combat training camp that's north a little bit. Maybe you maybe you like have soldiers coming in, like kind of how like the guy with the cart walks in and out of Varrock. Maybe like soldiers will walk in and out like on patrol, or like over to the training camp to like report in or something. Maybe you could revamp the cemetery in West Ardoyan to be more of like a memorial. Instead of this like rundown cemetery with like zombies and shit, you can memorialize it to the people who died during the siege of West Ardoyan, or died under the rule of Lathis or Ioworth or whoever. That like main city hub, that's definitely got potential. The old Mourner headquarters,
huge potential.
That's got potential for like, maybe that's controlled by soldiers now, because like the the mourners are gone, but like the dark beasts are still there. So like that's kind of a problem, you know. And I definitely think a Mahogany Homes / construction expansion would be cool. Maybe you can get like a West Ardoyan house kit or something.
Oh, bro, I would love to see a house portal added to this area.
Yeah.
You know, there's not the closest house portal to this area is what, Prif? Maybe?
That I think a house portal might be
Yanil,
yeah. I think a house portal would be a lot, but I mean like, you know, we can go to West Ardoyan. I'll go there right now on the main, and like we'll just look at what the houses look like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like, because you know how you have the Hasidius wall kit?
Yeah.
The twisted ornament kit for the house or whatever. Maybe you could do something like that with a West Ardoyan theme.
Ooh, I just had a thought, and maybe we can run with this. So Artie is really placed pretty heavily between the gnomes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you take the gnome stronghold and the gnome village, what's right smack dab in the middle? West Artie. So what if you say, okay, we're trying to rebuild West Artie in this quest, and you talk to King Narnode, and you're like, bro, I really need your help. And he's like, well, what am I going to get out of it? And you're like, well, first of all, we'll help you in your battle, because that battle is always going on south of West Artie. And we're like, we'll help you with the battle, and we'll give you some land to help connect your two main hubs of like, you know, the village and the stronghold. And maybe part of the city design is heavily inspired by the gnomes. Like maybe they donate a ton of resources to help you build it. So you've got a gnome inspired city that's also incorporated in with like West Artie. And what if it is the new city of the gnomes? Because they have a stronghold and they have, you know, their village. But what if they want to expand into a whole city? And now that's the gnome city.
I think that would be cool to start almost like modernizing cities in RuneScape. Not hear me out here. I know the word modern in Old School RuneScape is a trigger word for a lot of people. You know, combat should evolve next. Like that's not what I'm going for here. But like if you look at other MMOs or you look at other fantasy works, look at Lord of the Rings, look at Star Wars, look at, you know, anything in that sort of fantasy realm, it's not uncommon for multiple species to live amongst one another, especially in a highly civilized world like Gielinor. So, barring some exceptions, like the vampires and the Tazar and the monkeys, things like that, I don't think at this point it's out of the realm of possibility that gnomes, dwarves, humans, maybe some of those Arceus folks, you know, they kind of intermingle a little bit. Elves is super hit or miss because, again, Song of the Elves is a big quest requirement. And how do you just, like, not include elven NPCs in various places before people have done it? I think it would be super cool if the people of Prifdin has started to send ambassadors to, like, Falador or Ardoyan, you know, because when I went for the Dorks and Daggers episode that Michael and I were on, I did way too much research into the history of Prifdinus and like the wars there, because I gave my character way too detailed of a backstory. After they like settled Prif, they went out past the Arendar Mountains, made a treaty with the gnomes, and like explored that whole western province. But then once the Ioworths kind of took over and f***ed everything up, they all retreated back. So that's why there's no elves anywhere. Wouldn't it be cool to kind of see them expand a little bit? Like maybe there's an elf on the Isle of Souls. You know, maybe there's a couple elves in like Sears Village. It's a stretch, but it's possible. You know? So I think that could be cool if you like, you know, almost made it so like it's very normal now for gnomes to just move in between the stronghold and the tree gnome village. Just like on foot through West Artie, because now you have the capability, like maybe you knock out some of the walls, you know, and in exchange they can just like have free passage because they help you out. There's potential there. There's definitely potential.
I would love that.
That'd be super cool.
West Artie, move that ship. Here's your new West Ardoin.
Yeah, we're not gonna have like mock-ups of these places because Michael and I
No.
cannot draw. But
I can draw, but like I don't.
I can't.
Maybe I could make a no, because I have to edit this episode. If I wasn't editing this episode, I think I would actually hardcore go into Microsoft Paint and like try and pixel by
Microsoft
pixel.
Paint, LFG, baby. LFG.
Go pixel by pixel and just make a new mock-up of the city. That would be cool. But not today. Not today. If there's any JMods who are in charge of like content, listening to the podcast, first of all, please say hello. We want to know you're here. And second of all, that's free content for you. Just credit me. That's all I ask. Just credit Xpwaste.
You don't even have to credit me for this because like I think the one I have, the one that's the first thing that came to mind for me is Zalandra.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of been addressed already that like Zalandra needs a mock-up. Zalandra needs something. And I've looked up like swamp towns and like, swamp houses, things like that. Gotten a little inspired from Minecraft, funny enough, with some of the potentials for building. So right now Zalandra is just small.
Yeah.
It is small. It is inhabited by some cultists. I'm gonna teleport there right now. I'm not 100% sure there's a bed in Zalandra. Like, I don't know. Like, do people sleep? I don't know. I think as a town, it could look a lot better because it's basically a shrine to a god at this point. Like the people, we had this conversation last night. When you go off on the boat to kill Zulrah, you just like come back. Do the people of Zalandra just like think you escaped? Or do they think that you've legitimately killed their god? Like what? Like how does that work? Because the people here worship Zulrah. They offered a child as a sacrifice, and then the eels started showing up, so they believe that Zulrah is this like sacred creature, when in reality it's just a dragonkin monstrosity that was left behind, thought to be a failure, but they thought wrong. I think Zulrah ate the dragonkin that dropped them off. I'm not sure. In any case,
is it like when you go on the boat? Aren't they saying like you are going to sacrifice yourself?
Yeah, no,
like,
you're the sacrifice.
They fully don't expect you to come back.
Yeah, no, and I think if you talk to the priestess, let me check her dialogue right now. When you talk to Zul Gwenig or whatever her name is, who is an elf, she says, "Did Zulrah reject your sacrifice?" You say, "I killed Zulrah." And she says, "Is that what you think? Board the boat again. I'm sure you'll find Zulrah can overcome whatever pitiful attacks you used." Like, they just like don't believe that you've killed them. So these people out here have been worshiping for like a generation or two this big snake god, and yet they're still living in squalor, right? Let's, aesthetically speaking, expand Zalandra a little bit. Let's like push that mountain out and let's expand it a little bit. But maybe let's even bring some of the water in. You ever seen a swamp town where the houses are on stilts?
Yes.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Put some of the houses on stilts. What I would like to see is some sort of statue to Zulrah. Maybe it's made of like clay and mud. Maybe it's made of like pieces of stone or bones or something. Maybe it's made from the scales they recover from the sacred eels. So it's this clay statue covered in these ornate scales they get from eels, where it looks really flashy and it looks like it kind of like reflects the green, blue, and red all over the place, Put a nice statue in there. Keep some things, like keep the houses run down, obviously. Keep the dock run down and kind of decrepit. Like, it's still a swamp village of cultists. Like, it's not gonna look like Falador, but I feel like you could put some stilts on there. Maybe throw like a spinning wheel in there. Maybe you could, like, what's another off the wall thing you could probably add? You could probably maybe add a fishing spot on the other side towards the ocean of like maybe a big net fishing spot with like shrimps and cod and things that aren't super important. I wouldn't put like a shark fishing spot there because sharks and sacred eels in the same spot. Like, it doesn't even have to be fishing, Maybe add some more dead trees, maybe add some more decrepit bushes. I like the color palette, especially in HD. Zalandra looks foggy. and
Hmm.
spooky. Like Zolandra, it gives a aesthetically right now, you've got the colors, you've got the like murky sort of, you know, this place is scary. But I feel like you need to go a little bit further here. Like put some more furniture around, put maybe some more smaller docks, maybe make the dock longer or a little bit more ornate with like, you know, torches on either end of it.
Yeah.
Maybe put like a I don't know, maybe put like a fish cleaning station in. Not to do anything with. Maybe it just has like a sink there, so it's like a water source. You know, maybe just do something simple like that because I would not want to add a bank to
Mm.
Zalandra.
Nope.
Absolutely not. No bank,
No,
no
no, no,
bank
no, no.
deposit box, nothing like that. I wouldn't want to add too much as far as skilling because what trees are going to grow here, you might be able to get away with adding a couple coal rocks just for design purposes, maybe, you know. Um like I said, even on the fence about adding a fishing spot. Um but I think maybe some sort of like crude sink or crude well might be a nice addition, somewhere to clean the sacred eels, put the houses up on stilts. Maybe give some of these houses I have to go in. I'm gonna turn hide roofs off, which I never do.
Here's a fun fact. I have roofs on all the time, but there's a plugin that allows you, like, when you get close or when you hover, it automatically removes it. So
Yeah.
I have roofs on all the time for RuneScape, and it's changed the way I look at the game. Like, not really that impactfully, but like subtly, it feels more like these are actual houses versus just four walls that are roofless.
Yeah, like I'm standing on the only roof of one of the buildings, and it's the one with Zul Shere.
Hmm.
Not the high priestess, the other one who like his little kid gets sacrificed. But there's no roofs on any of these houses.
Hmm.
Like I get it. They're a swamp full of cultists. They probably don't live in luxury, but like maybe add some thatch roofs, maybe add some mud roofs, maybe add some sort of like this is an attempt at insulation, you know? Like maybe put some blood stains, maybe put like,
Ooh.
you know, put like a big like scratch mark in the dirt where Zulrah first came and like attacked the city or something like that.
Hmm.
Maybe leave one of the houses
Huh.
destroyed as like as a
A
reminder,
reminder.
like this is why we worship the snake kind of thing. One of the
Jeez.
houses is like broken into the water. So I feel like this is an area certainly that has the aesthetic but needs to be expanded upon. And since I was looking in this area, the Arendar mountain range, holy shit, what a waste of space. I think it's cool that Gielinor has topography, but the way it's available is just not worth it. You know, there's some agility shortcuts, but like, what if we added some more agility shortcuts? What if we made climbing boots necessary now with a higher agility level, or maybe because like one of the rocks has an 85 agility requirement. Like
Isn't that a
that's
diary step?
it is a diary step, but it's an old holdover from like old RuneScape, 2005, 2006, when like this was like the second or third highest required agility thing in the whole game, you know,
Yeah.
with 85s. Like maybe we'll put something 70 tier, 60 tier. Maybe you can explore these mountains. Maybe it's not quite a passageway to the Orania altar or, you know, to the to Castle Wars or anything like that, Feldip Hills. But maybe there's a new hunter area there. Maybe there's a new hunter creature, i.e. giving a point to hunter. Let's fucking go, boys. You know, maybe there's because this mountain range expands a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
it's huge.
and I feel like this could be really cool, but right now it's just a big black swath on the map
Yeah.
that I feel like maybe could be looked at, you know. And if you want to keep the whole like decrepit mountainside, you kind of need a better explanation as to
Hmm.
why. Like taiga mountains like that don't really stay brown. They always have some, you know, hint of green. They do it in Prifdinnis really well. In Gwyneth, just north of there. where there's still some greenery in like, because that dock north of Prif, it's beautiful over there. That design should be carried over to the rest of the mountain range.
Yeah, because that little mountain shouldn't be like unique to that land. Like that should be what the whole mountain range looks like. Because I can imagine like maybe the whole area where Prif is now was mountains, and maybe that got excavated and
thousands of years ago.
Yeah, so like the land was developed and the mountain was removed so Prif could be there. Because it looks like it literally just cuts off. And then you have Gwyneth where it picks back up again.
Well, Gwyneth is more of like a valley, right? So first of all, I'm going to turn hide roofs back on because yikes. And even if we run up the side of this mountain range with the dead trees, right? There's still little flares of grass. There's still bushes. There's still mushrooms. I think we could expand these sort of Prifdinish styled evergreen trees. We could expand those a lot into the R&R mountain range. There's, up here with the dire wolves and the black dragon, the little Game of Thrones reference we've got going on. There's at least some character to it, although I'm not entirely sure what purpose it serves being up there other than a Game of Thrones Easter egg,
Yeah. Isn't there a clue step up there?
There might be.
I can't remember. I remember having to go there for something, and I'm like, I've never been here in my life. I think it's a clue step.
Well, there's Ed. Ed is up here. Who the hell is Ed?
It's probably another Game of Thrones thing, because Ned
might be
Ned Stark.
Oh,
somebody's
knows?
A fan.
But no, I think maybe adding the maple tree design from Prifdinish, or even the maple tree design from like Corsair Cove. Maybe adapt some of those trees, adapt some of that wildlife into the rest of that mountain range. There's not a whole lot of trees. There are some rocks, and like you can't. This isn't us flaming the artists or the designers, mind you. This was released in like 2004, 2005. Like aesthetically speaking, RuneScape was a very different game for so many reasons back then.
Yeah,
but if you're talking updating, if I were a new player and you showed me the starting areas, which I understand are effectively untouchable, right? I don't want to play this game. It looks like shit.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, like, why do you still play this game when it looks like this? Because I talk about, like, the game has, a team of developers and they're putting out updates. I recently actually just told my friend about RuneScape. He's like, wait, they update this game? I'm like, yeah. I mean, yeah, like they update the game, but they kind of do it in a way that it still retains that look that people are after. Like just the simple color palettes, not a lot going on. Flat. It's not very flashy. It's kind of flat, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like effects to things, which like is fine,
I just realized I've been playing on my group Iron Man with HD turned off. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of flat, and then I'm like, wait, this shouldn't actually be flat. Hold on. And then I just turned HD on. So
I don't know. It's just if you take, while keeping the old school feel, if you take something like Zolandra, West Ardoyan, the R&R Mountains, we didn't include the desert because we know the desert is getting a rework finally.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you take those kind of elements and then compare them to like Shazian, compare them to Hasidius, even if we took the desert, right? If we took Al-Kharid, this simple desert town, and then we took just east of that in that Giants area where the clan wars used to be, that is a dramatic difference in how those areas look, and that's awesome. So
it's like a little oasis.
Yeah, it's a little oasis, which like I understand oasis can't be all of the desert, but there's gotta be some sort of potential to make things look spiced up a little bit. And you mentioned earlier, just real quick, removing trees. That one singular tree outside the Tower of Life that blocks the fairy ring, cut it.
Cut it.
Done.
That kind of transitions. that transitions almost perfectly into my next thought. Was I saw this post on Reddit that was talking about just like RuneScape being an open world, but so much of it having like set paths for like almost everything, like it's very, very restrictive. Like if you go into the new Shazian area, you would think that like you could go through these trees, but when you click to the like when you click to go around them, like it takes you on this big long path. That's just an example, but like there's a lot of things in this game that are like there's a lot of areas in this game that are very restrictive in the way that it paths you, almost to where it like breaks the immersion for me. Shazian's a big one. There's tons of places where like your character should just be able to walk over a little patch of grass, but they don't. They path around it. So that would be one thing that I would look at if I was to like try and change anything in as far as making over Gilinar. Is like, can we just make it to where some sort of pathing update to where maybe you can walk over little things like little rocks, or bushes, or you can walk through trees if it's. I get the tile system is kind of a big one where, you know, things have to be on tiles and you can't path through things, but I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Like maybe if you just have like a super low agility requirement, and if you want to walk through these two trees, your option is like click to squeeze through the tree, and it becomes almost like agility has some sort of like that could be an agility update. It's like you have all these low level like squeeze through a tree to get to an area faster. Just a ton more agility shortcuts rather than just the obvious ones like jump over this, jump on these stones to get across the lake. That's just a thought.
Yeah.
Like that
almost like a passive agility thing. Like I'm doing this sweat method for thieving, right? Where you run back and forth and like you save like one whole game tick and you get like more XP per hour. Like it's kind of gross that this is the method that I'm using, but you know, with that, somebody made a comment last night that like you should get agility experience for that. I'm like, haha, unless, you know, I think there's a lot of ways to make agility more functional in small ways outside of training it. Not that training agility is bad. Let me back up. Not that there are no ways to train agility, right? I did 900 laps at Canifis, and then somebody in a voice chat had the audacity to say, oh, why don't you go train agility? I said, man, like, you know? But I think that could be fun, and I think it is just, it's an impossible fault of the tile system.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate with, like, how it is developed as a game.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you start messing with the tile system for like immersive open world pathing, how does that affect player versus monster? How does that affect true tile? How does that affect acid walking at Vorkath, Soda Stag Maze? How does that affect positioning within the Inferno? Do NPCs have to follow the tile ruling, or can they now path freely like players can? Well, path freely, right? You know,
like you're not gonna you eliminate save spots essentially at that point.
More or less in a lot of situations you do, unless a creature is physically too large. Like the Grand Tree boss fight's a good example, where when you hide behind the rocks, like the demon is too big to get back there. But something like Fight Arena, where you just like cheese it behind a single rock, right? Like that's effectively kind of out the door if you don't get it perfectly correct as far as pathing goes. So I kind of agree that I would like it to be more open, kind of like how I'm in Sears Village right now on the main. If you go a little north of Sears Village by like St. Clair Mansion, by Phalo, even the Fremenning Province. The Fremenning Province is a really good example of like a lot of trees but a lot of space to walk.
Yeah.
Like that's a good happy medium right there, where you feel like you're in a big forest where you can go wherever you want, but it's not so big that you get lost, and it's not so streamlined like Shazian, where you don't feel like you're in a forest at all. You just feel like you're, you know, doing whatever. And maybe Shazian could have benefited from like more clearings to enter. Who knows? It's a beautiful update. Like it's not bad that they did that. It's just there's more you could work with there as far as like space to move goes, I suppose, if we're talking about this exact thing. But I think some sort of low level, almost like passive agility thing. Not like Featherhawk boots passive,
Right.
but like, you know, oh, he's slipping through the tree. That's like 2 agility experience, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Just more of them, like
Yeah.
hundreds more that encompass like level 1 to 99.
Mm-hmm.
Like make them super convenient if it's a high level. Make them super like you could take it, you couldn't, but it still gives you agility XP.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a skill like agility, you should be getting XP all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm carrying 65 kilograms at all times. And like actively using my weapons most of the time too. So like I don't know.
Ooh, I'm negative weight right now, boy.
Me too. I mean, on the groupie, I'm negative 16. I'm 0 on the main, but like if I were to gear for theater or chambers, that's like it's a good 40,
It's heavy.
60.
It's
Yeah.
heavy.
I'm a heavy boy. But
All right, man. Well, I feel like that's a good place to stop. Last thing I want to say is Hans, move that boat, and send you guys to break. So,
oh my god.
thanks guys for sticking around this far into the episode. If you stick around after the break, we'll have more content for you there. So, see you after this.
Good evening, adventurer. You come here seeking knowledge and power, no? Then perhaps you're brave enough to enter my evil lair. For those of you... David, honey, who you talking to down there? What? No, Mom, I'm trying to shoot a movie. Oh, okay, honey, have fun. Now, where were we? For those of you who dare enter this hell, you may find the power you seek. But of course, such power comes at a price. You must... David, honey, what do you want for dinner? I got leftover lasagna or dinosaur chicken nuggets? Dinosaur chicken nuggets, please. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart. Okay, evil. I am evil. Okay, we can do this. To obtain that which you desire, you must take the life of another. But you adventurers are all the same, and your bloodlust is rarely sated after just one. However, there is not reward without risk. You must... David, honey! Oh, I swear to Zamarok. What, Mom? Would you like ranch or honey mustard with your nuggets? Do we have any hot sauce? Yeah, I got hot sauce. You want hot sauce? Yes, please. Thank you, Mom. Of course, dear. Okay, let's just get this over with. However, there is no reward without risk. For you must endanger the life of your closest companion in order to fulfill your desires for knowledge and power. If this is a chance you're willing to take, then I invite all of you to venture to my corner of hell, if you dare. David, honey, if you're gonna have friends over, I'm gonna need to make more chicken nuggets. Mom!
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. Now's the point in the episode where we're going to give a shout out to our patrons over on our Patreon. And we love all of them, but specifically today we love the Wise Old Man tier and the KBD tier. Big shout out to Scape Caution, Elagio, Bolimer, Basket, Benjamin R, Haddadbot, C. Gladney, Morty, Creamed Ham, Durf Nasty, Drum TXT, Duke Bradley, D. Falconer, Flyin' Castiel, Forestry, Fortimus, Imby Jones, Jack M, Jake W, Jordy, Potato Pancake, who is hanging out with us for the first time in the recording booth. So big shout out to you. Posh Padre, 999999. Ice Wallow, Russa Fury, Ryan, aka Oxie's Left Nut, Salted Snake, Soggy Waffles, Shadow, Swag Daddy 3000, Toast No Toast, Troll, Tyler H, and Zach without a K. Thank you so much to all of our Wise Old Man tier supporters. We love each and every one of you. Big shout out to our KBD supporters, starting off with Oxie's dad, aka my dad, aka Oxie's dad. Cookies and MILF, Dr. Draven, Kroll, the Lord Jake himself, our third favorite supporter, Ralph, and Spartan Fire. Again, thank you so much to everybody who supports the show. Whether or not you got a shout out, we still love you. If you would like to support the show in any way, shape, or form monetarily, you can head over to patreon.com/Xpwaste. Lots of cool perks there at every single tier. One of the tiers gets you an extra episode, and that's at, I think, $5 a month. So for $5, you get 5 Xpwaste episodes in a month. Sometimes they're a little late, but we try to make it up to you guys. If you like D&D, we just did a 2-part series for, it's like 6 or 7 hours of content, by the way. It's a D&D one-shot that turned into 2 episodes with our friend, a feller named Matt. Big shout out to him. So head over to patreon.com/Xpwaste, and we'd love to see you there. So now it's time for the community question. We had tons of replies. We also want to get to an email. So I'm going to pick 2. So I'm going to pick 2 from Spotify and then 2 from YouTube. So over on Spotify, we asked you last week, what was your first memory in RuneScape? So the first one I want to read is from Vince, longtime commenter on the community question section. Vince said, my first memory was opening the doors to Taverley just after buying members when I beat Dragon Slayer 1 for the first time. Felt like Jimmy during his buy-release series. So I haven't seen the buy-release series, but I'm pretty sure Jimmy went through all of the free-to-play quests in order. And then once he finished those, he went and got membership and then started doing those. So yeah, that sounds like fun. This one made me laugh from Jacob M. He said, owning, in quotation marks, owning a world at the Fally Cows with my friends as we wouldn't let anyone else kill it. As we wouldn't let anyone else kill one. Kill on-site cows. Owning, like, did you just like lock down a world of cows as a kid? That is fun RuneScape right there.
That paved the way for what the Revenant Caves would become.
Yes.
Jacob and the Falador cows walked, so Revenant Cave services could run. Clearly.
Thank you, Jacob M. on Spotify. So the 2 I wanted to read from YouTube, the pinned comment on YouTube, same question. This one is funny from Carter. They said, making an alt in my 4th grade with a female name to lure my best friend into giving me gold. I spammed the blow kiss emote and followed him everywhere, but he never simped. Shout out to Brianna 22222222.
That's cold, dude.
Can you imagine?
That's cold. That's so cold.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That sounds like something I would do, straight up. When I was a kid, just the shenanigans you get into in RuneScape as a kid. I remember having a RuneScape wedding. I don't remember who I got married to, but I definitely remember getting married to someone. So shout out to my spouse if you're out there. And then finally,
Michael's married twice because I don't think he ever got a legal RuneScape divorce.
Oh, so I didn't. So
you now have a stepson.
To get the
LFG.
Oh no. So last reply is from Jordy. The Thing while shearing sheep. The Thing.
That thing was so confusing as a kid.
Isn't that just like
because like,
in reference to the penguins?
Yeah, it's the Cold War quest, but like, you didn't have free to play, so you're like, are those penguins underneath that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's
why is there penguins?
Element of mystery to free to play.
Yeah, it's fun stuff though. So thank you so much to everybody who replied to our community question, whether it was on Spotify or on YouTube. If you want to answer the question for this week, it is going to be, what area of RuneScape would you like to see get a makeover? We'd love to hear your responses, and we'll read them in the next episode. I want to pivot a little bit. This isn't like a structured kind of segment, but I did want to read a couple emails that we got. This one made me smile, and I took a screenshot of it and sent it to Oxie. And it kind of just, to set this up, like reading this email just kind of reminded me why I still want to do this podcast, week after week, why I think that this was a great decision. So this one's from Kyle. He says, "Hey guys, I have been binging your podcast and I have not regretted a single second of it. You have given me a new and refreshing opinion on a game that I was being burnt out of, but was still chasing that nostalgic feeling. And now I can truly enjoy the game and not feel obligated to log in every day. It's gotten to the point that even though I have a main account and several Iron Man accounts, I've created a new main to play so I can not skip through the quest dialogue and soak in the game with a new perspective you guys have instilled in me. Many thanks and keep up the good work, Kyle." Like that
what
just,
a man.
I know.
What
it just warms my heart to like. I think he's referencing the "Do you feel like you have to log in" episode that we did.
Yeah.
And just talking about, like you don't have to play RuneScape if you don't want to play RuneScape. It's okay to play other games, because unfortunately this community, not our community, but the RuneScape community, is very judgmental. Not everyone, but a lot of people are, in the fact that if you don't play RuneScape all the time and they know you play RuneScape as well, they'll flame you hard for not playing RuneScape when you can play RuneScape. I don't know why that is. I don't feel like it's that way with any other communities, but I'm not really ingrained in much outside of RuneScape. But you don't have to play the game. And to get more into that, you go back and listen to that episode, because we definitely covered a lot. But Kyle, thank you so much for emailing us. Thank you for that perspective. Thank you so much for A, bringing a smile to my face, and B, without really knowing it, reminding me and Oxie why we do this. So thank you so much. There's another email from Lucio. I hope I'm saying that right. But they sent us a picture. I'm gonna email them and ask if we can put it on screen. And if we can, you're seeing it now. But if not, basically they just have the Xpwaste podcast pulled up on their phone, and they've definitely gone all over the world at this point. So originally from the US, I would assume, and then they took a picture in London, and then they just sent us a picture in Paris. So I know that there are Xpwasters out there from all over the world, but it's kind of cool to see like somebody emailing us specifically from these different places and being like, "Hey, I listened to you guys on the plane ride all the way from the US to London and been binging those episodes." So thank you, Lucio. Shout out to you. So yeah, if you guys want to send us an email, obviously the link is in the description, but it is xpwastepod@gmail.com. No guarantees we'll read it on the episode, but we do, even if it's just a quick note to say, hey, if we haven't heard from you in Discord, or maybe you're not in the Discord, we would love to hear from you, just to say hi and send us an email. So thank you so much. Oh, also, send us a postcard. Still haven't got anything. I've been checking the P.O. box like at least once a week. I actually delayed starting recording this episode because I wanted to drive to the P.O. box to check, but nothing there. So it's P.O. Box 634, Haslet, Texas 76052. You can put Xpwaste or you can put Michael as the name. And if we get a postcard with the fun question on it, it's guaranteed to be read and answered that week. So send us a postcard, please. MB Jones in the recording booth chat said, "Thank you for the postcard reminder." We're getting one, Oxie. Getting a postcard. I'm gonna make a board that goes like on the back, in the background here, like a cork board, and I'm gonna pin every postcard that we get back there. So if you want your postcard in the episodes, on YouTube at least, just send me them.
The community post board. I'm here for it.
The community post board. But yeah, that was a long ramble for my section, Oxie. Do you have any achievements of the week?
I have one or two, yes. This week has been quiet and monumental at the same time, if that makes any sense. So as far as the 99s go this week, I saw there's two 99s that I have seen. The first was Michael got 99 fishing.
Yay!
Past week, which I think he may have mentioned. No, you didn't mention it in the last episode, did you? Because you didn't have 99 fishing when we recorded the last episode. So no, Michael got 99 fishing. And then I want to say it was yesterday or 2 days ago, Seifer, I don't think I've ever actually said their name out loud, got 99 fire making in the clan. It like popped up as a clan notification. So that's the 99s. I think, I want to say somebody yesterday, Studer, just got his first quest cape. But I don't know what channel he put it in.
Xpwaste.
Oh, it was Xpwaste? Yeah, he did get his first quest cape. We do love to see that. I think somebody else get a quest cape this week?
I don't think there was any other quest capes, not that I can see.
Yeah, so Studer, congratulations. I also want to give a tiny little shout out to Mima for hitting 1,000 medium clues.
Damn.
Big number.
Yeah.
Good. Now it's time for the PVM achievement of the week. Normally, we shout out Fire Capes, Zulrah, First Gauntlet, KC. This week's going to be a little bit different. So I got my Elite Combat achievements, but we all know there's only one thing I'll ever shout myself out for, and it hasn't happened yet. But our friend Jesse, 2 Fast Kills, finally completed the Grandmaster Combat achievements and has become the first and only member of TNL to obtain the Tuzkalzuk Slayer helmet.
Wow. Dude, that's insane.
It is insane. Now, a little bit of backstory, why we're not even mentioning the other PVM things this week. Michael, Scape, myself, Jesse, Immortal, people we talk about on the show, Darkside, TMD, we've been in this community long before Xpwaste began. Jesse and I joined TNL on the exact same day from the exact same stream of Scapes. So you're friends with someone for a really long time, and then they achieve this. Like back when we were applying for the clan system, they needed like proof that our group was an actual clan. So we went through levels and achievements, some of the moderators and I, and we took screenshots of various Discord things throughout the year or so that we had all been together. And it was really cool to like watch us celebrate with our friends before the podcast became a thing, which isn't shame to the podcast. It's just, like we always say, it's recognition for the people who came before, the people who kind of built a community with us and around us and sort of inspired us to start talking about these things in a broader space. So I personally would like to shout you out, Jesse. Congratulations. The game finally recognizes what we have known for so long. You are a Grandmaster of Combat. I congratulate you on that huge achievement because literally you're the only one. There's 2 people with the Elite Combat Diaries done in the clan, I think, and it's me and Immortal, and Immortal's not technically in the clan. There might be some other stragglers from various groups who have come in. Like I know we've got people like Kira and Cinta who have like thousands of Theater of Blood KC. So I might not be the only one with the Elite in the clan, but you sure as hell are the only one with the Grandmaster. So that's awesome. For everyone else this week who did achieve something, be it a 99, be it a first Jad kill, be it a first Zulrah kill, congratulations to you as well. I don't mean to devalue any sort of first achievement because, like I said at the top of the episode, when you talk about the progression of an account, when you talk about the progression of PVM, I'm excited for 1,000 Zulrah. I failed Zulrah 35 times in a single day trying to learn Zulrah. Live on Twitch, mind you. I had Michael, Scape, and Immortal in Discord trying to talk me through Jad phase. Literally, they're in Discord. They're like, Oxie, we're going to simplify it for you. When he attacks with one style, you immediately switch prayers to another style. But then I was switching prayers too quickly and still dying at Jad phase. 90 wipes at Theater of Blood has led to 96 completions at Theater of Blood.
Yeah.
When you talk about progression of the account, it's nice to recognize the firsts. We love it. We really, unironically, I do like first fire capes. And if you are out there hunting for it, stream it in Discord because I want to watch it. I love being there for that shit. But sometimes you have to recognize and appreciate the high end of things, and that's why we've kind of benched the other achievements this week. So I have seen some fire capes and things like that. I apologize this week, but to everyone who achieved something, as always, congratulations. Keep posting it in the levels and achievements chat in our Discord, and we'll be looking to shout you out in the upcoming week. I think it's fun question time, Michael. Time to stop being sappy about old friends and combat achievements. Let's talk about something fun, I guess.
Do it. So I think you have the question and you haven't told me, so this will be interesting.
I do. Okay, I do have a little bit of a question for you. So we have been talking about the Extreme Makeover Gielinor edition, right? And like what elements from real life that we've seen, or what elements from other fantasy that we've seen could we incorporate into Old School RuneScape? But we're going to flip the script for the fun question. Michael, we're building a new room in your house, and we're building an expansion to my apartment. But the only rule is that this new room and this new expansion has to be themed like a city or a region in Gielinor. What would you want to theme an IRL space based off of what we see in RuneScape?
Wow. Okay. Do you have one yet, or do you want me to go first?
I have a couple, but I would like you to go first because I don't know what you're gonna pick. I've not hard decided on anything yet. So
yeah. So I haven't. Man, I'm trying to think of.
I'll give you a second to look around. How about this? I'll give you a second to look around, and then I can kind of give you some of my thoughts, if that makes sense, right?
Well, frick, I'm in the fight caves on my main, so I can't even log in.
Just check it on your groupie? Question mark.
I mean, I don't have that many teleports.
No, I mean, look at the world map. You've been to all these places enough to know.
Well, right? I was trying to see what the buildings look like outside of just the top down view. Because originally my first thought is I'm pretty into the rustic, old, vintage kind of look. I mean, you can kind of tell with my background. It's a lot of woods and eclectic stuff. So I feel like Barbarian Village, maybe. I don't know. It just seems like either Fremenic or Barbarian Village.
Peep
just
this.
kind of
peep the stream, Michael.
Oh.
I'm in Remington right now. If you like that kind of rusticy wooden look.
Yes. Actually, yeah. Remington is beautiful.
Good.
Yeah.
Remington's got some good house designs.
I do like Remington. It's got the shelves, it's got the random crates in the houses. I'm loving the cobblestone on the fountain there, the well. Beautiful. So yeah, just something more rustic. I'm in Canifis right now, and it's kind of along those lines of spooky, kind of run down, but also livable. But Prifddinas comes to mind as a beautiful city, but I don't know that I would want the crystals and the a lot of trees.
My cat would be losing her mind when the sun came in and reflected off all those crystals. I think B would explode.
Yeah,
with all those refractions on the walls. So yeah, I agree that might not be the best.
Yeah, and then I'm not really into the stones. Having living in a castle for me would be absolutely dreadful, because I'm more into the living elements, the woods and things like that. So living in a stone palace or a castle, if you go with the Lumbridge theme, that would just not be my aesthetic. I would have to be in a castle, but then put wood paneling up somewhere. And I like a lot of natural light too. So it would have to be something where it was a very open concept as well. I don't know. Yeah, that's. But
it is a tough one. It's certainly not the easiest question I've ever posed.
No. But I'm also thinking what are the elements of this area in RuneScape that would be a benefit to the room that I'm in? Like, am I just gonna have a bunch of coal rocks and like iron ore and stuff if I go with Barbarian Village, like in the middle of the room? Or if I go with Remington,
they're not gonna like pull every piece of like, you know, like a worldwide aesthetic around you, but like you can think of like the theme of the area, what it might look like, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig that. What do you got?
I have two places in mind, kind of. I am torn between what I want to do for my two places. I'm running through Prif right now to get back to Gwyneth, just because I want to see what it looks like. All right, yeah. So I have two places in mind. Yeah, I am confirmed that this place is definitely a good one for me. The first that I'm here right now, so I'm going to talk about it. Gwyneth, like we talked about earlier, turn hide roofs off. The housing in Gwyneth, just north of Prif, is gorgeous. There's some crystal aesthetic. You see a little bit of crystalline architecture here and there, you know, but you can definitely tell overall that like this is a little bit more rustic. Like these are the elves that are feeling comfortable living outside the city, and they're close to water, which like I've expressed many times on the podcast that like I love being near water. I love it, and when I'm like away from it for a very long time, I don't know, I feel weird. Like I like to be near water. So I think this kind of location for you, the beautiful waterfall kind of leads out into the sea, right? There's a lot of super cool stuff here that I would like. So I think this kind of theme, you know, the interiors of the houses are a little bit more rustic. They've got, you know, I want to say one of them, let me run back over here real quick. They've got ranges. Something has something in like the middle of the floor. Let me see what this thing is. Let me do a little investigation. Oh, no, that's just an ornate cooking range. Yeah, it's got like designs and things all over it. Yeah, no, it's just a nice little rustic, but also kind of modern house. You know, it's got a little terrace I could walk out on. That would be super cool. That would be a super cool expansion to my apartment. The other one that I've always been drawn to is Hasidius.
Oh yeah. Why did I forget about Hasidius, bro?
That's why I didn't go first, because I figured you would say Hasidius, but like I adore the Hasidius architecture. I think it's one of the best in the game. I don't know. I love the way it looks. I love the white stone, but it's not quite Falador level. It's not so like in your face, like yes, pure white stone. You know, it's not so up in there like Falador is. But I don't know. I want to get it for my POH.
Yeah.
Like I really want this. I really should be training more construction to get this for my POH, because like it's just so cool, you know. And it's not to say that other areas of the game or other areas in Shazian alone, not in Shazian, in Zaya alone don't look cool, but like something about the sort of like rustic farming, everyone's coming together as like a community to like help build this town, basically. You know, they have all elements of the town that kind of come together and convene in a little marketplace. I think that aesthetic has always really appealed to me. Our fifth member of the group, Iron Man team, just logged in. Avengers assemble. We're ready. But no, if I were to redesign a space in my house or to add a space to my house, I think the way that Hasidius looks is that's good. That's doing it for me right here. That's certainly doing it for me. 100%.
I think I'm on record saying in an episode that if there was a place I would want to live in RuneScape, it would be in Hosidius or Catherby. I think those were the two that I've said on record have been a place I want to live. And I don't know how I forgot about Hosidius when thinking about aesthetics, because you're right. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it is aesthetically one of the most beautiful places in the game. I think I really like the kind of like the ramparts. Well,
Shazian's gorgeous after they redid it. Like, I'm not into the military state, but you're right. The force that they've decided to inhabit is gorgeous. I put a lot of shame on the new Shazian rework with the pathing, but like if you are walking around there, yeah, it sucks to get around, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
I really like the forest that it's in, and I think having my apartment in that kind of environment would be awesome. The turnoffs are, number one, everything on the inside is very dark. Everything is very dark. Everything is very black. Versen Haza looks super cool, but I don't think I could live floor to ceiling, pitch black, everything.
Yeah.
You know, bloody ramparts everywhere.
Mhm.
And also, I don't want to say I dislike it because I don't think that's the right term, but like I've never been as drawn to that like East Asian architecture that they kind of put in Shazian. You know, they kind of have
Mhm.
like the Japanese inspired buildings and archways and things like that. And while it looks cool as hell, and I really think they've done a beautiful job with Shazian, and when I see that East Asian architecture, I'm like, yeah, that looks cool as hell. I don't think it's ever something that I'm like, oh yeah, I want my house to look like this. Like, probably not. Which is like, no, it's just personal preference at that point. It's not meant to be shady or mean. It's just I don't particularly like the
Yeah.
interior. Like if you look at the church at Shazian, it's a really good example. They have like ceremonial pillows that you sit on. Like there's no pews. Like they have really done a good job of representing this in a unique way. But
Mhm.
you know, I just think it's not quite my style.
Hey, you know, you like what you like, and that's why there's a variety of things. That's why
Yeah.
some people play RuneScape 3. They like it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not nothing against you. You don't have to apologize.
It was heresy.
Oh, no. So if you haven't already seen, Jagex released a bunch of blogs this week. One of them being they've gone back to the drawing board with the PvP arena rewards. That's fun. So go and check those out. I think there is another one about unranked group Ironman. That could be an entire episode in its own. That sounds like a lot of fun. So they also released a trailer reveal for the new RPG, like the tabletop game, the RuneScape Kingdoms. So that's a lot of fun. We'll have the obviously we'll have all these linked in the description below. But I think that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Again, as we say every week, thank you so much for listening and interacting with the community and being part of just what we do here at Xpwaste. If you want to check us out on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Xpwaste. We do have a merch store currently open, xpwaste.shop. You'll find a bunch of great designs. We have our logos on stuff. We have fruit merch. So check it out, xpwaste.shop. All the stuff you could ever want is also in the description below. So all the links we talked about today and everything there. Let's see. We love you guys. We thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.